right, what is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode number 17 of the Bards of Gaming podcast, where this week we're going to be discussing Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. We are joined this week with the OG guest, my buddy Pat, and I just want to say, right before we get into the episode, as I always do with my little intros, I apologize for being so behind. For anybody who follows this show with any kind of regularity, or if you follow me, expecting an episode every 2 weeks like usual, unfortunately that has not been the case because originally I was moving, and I was actually moving out of where I was living before, which I know that's kind of obvious, but I moved to New York, which is a big move for me. I'm excited, and so that's why the first week it did not come out on time, and then it was just scheduling conflicts, and then I got sick. So it's just been one thing after another, but this week we are here, we are back. I'm actually going to be releasing this episode tonight, Sunday. It is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, so hopefully everybody can have this episode to ride to work with on Monday. So that being said, I don't really have a whole lot of updates as far as what I've been playing, if anybody cares. It's been mostly Stardew Valley. That's been my primary focus lately. I have been playing a little bit of Jedi Fallen Order to prepare for an upcoming episode of the show, so get ready for that. And I'm slowly lining up other episodes to be recorded, and I'm going to, from here on out, I'm going to actually try and do some episode banking. So I'm going to have quite a few episodes pre-recorded, and what I'll be doing is recording the episodes with my guests, with my friends, and then as I upload each episode, I will be creating an intro at that time. So because it seems to be increasingly difficult to get people, and it's me too. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. Love all my friends, but scheduling conflicts. We're all adults. We all got jobs. We have families. We have things we have to do. So I try my best to make my uploads as consistently as possible. Every 2 weeks, I try to get it out there Thursday night, Friday morning. And sometimes it's just hard. So to try to avoid missing weeks of episodes going forward, I'm going to pre-record a bunch of episodes just for the actual episode content, and then be sure to create a actual up-to-date intro the day of. So that way, any information that I have regarding the state of the podcast, or where you can find me if I'm going to be going to any events or anything like that, you guys will have that up-to-date information at the time of the upload. So that being said, as I put in with every episode, any feedback is great feedback. I really appreciate it. Feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at @TheBardsOfGaming, or on Twitter or X at @2BardsOfGaming. You can find the link to all my socials as well as the email if you wanted to send me a message, shoot, reach out to me, whatever. You can find all that information at thebardsofgamingpodcast.com with links to the new merch and stuff like that. I was running a promo code the last couple of weeks. I think that just ended. So what I'm actually planning on doing now, however, is I'm going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway hosted on the Instagram. So the way that that's going to end up working is follow me on Instagram at TheBardsOfGaming for updates on that. It will probably be happening within the next week or two that I'll start announcing it and launching it. It'll likely be a month-long thing. That's what I'm thinking. Nothing's set in stone just yet. But what it'll end up being is one of those things just to try to spread awareness, because I want, obviously more listeners. I want to spread the word that we're even out here doing this. And I'll probably have it be follow the page, maybe comment a game that you want us to cover, and then tag 2 friends or something like that, just to get the word out there, and share it with all your friends and everybody that you may know who might be interested. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. And whoever I'm basically going to take all the names that are put into the comments and anybody who's eligible to win, and I'll find one of those randomizers, pull a name out of a hat sort of thing online, and whoever wins gets a free t-shirt. And I will reach out to you in your DMs, basically asking for shipping information and stuff like that, and then you'll get a free t-shirt. So that's pretty much what I'm planning on doing with that. So stay tuned, follow me on Instagram for that, and as always, feel free to reach out, show some love, leave a rating on Spotify. I'm actually still at 5 stars, hoping that doesn't go down, and I think I'm just about at 10 reviews. So that's very exciting. And we also hit another big major milestone. We got 800 downloads total so far. I'm very excited about that. I cannot believe how much this little podcast is growing, and I really appreciate every single one of you for listening. I love doing this and hope to not stop anytime soon. So that being said, hope you enjoy the episode. Let's go. All right, so this week we are joined with the myth, the man, the legend, Pat. Welcome back. How you doing?
What up, my dude? How you been?
I've been pretty good. This week I'm very excited. We're going to be talking about Persona 5 and Persona 5
Oh,
Royal,
oh, oh,
which
boy,
this has been a long time coming.
it has. It's
So,
this has been like this has been making me my mouth water for months. I've been so excited for the doing this game.
oh yeah, like I remember when you and I first started doing this podcast almost a year ago, like a month or so into us doing this, I know that you picked up this game and played it very diligently.
Mhm.
Uh, to play it on the podcast, and I kept putting it off, and being like, it's got to be like a milestone episode. It's got to be, and finally it got to a point where I was like, I just want to get it out there, and here we are. I
That's
don't
it.
know, but oh shit, man, like how you been? You haven't been on here in a few episodes, and what have you been playing lately?
I've been good, man. You know, I've been just, there's been a lot of life happening.
I
There's
hear
been a
that.
lot of all over the place, you know. There was a band that that kind of scooped me up, and we've got a gig that we're getting ready for in the middle of
Ooh.
May for like a biker rally tribute thing. You know, for just kind of the veterans and all that. And it's actually really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's some really classic songs that we're playing, and I'm just we were jamming last night, and it was supposed to be like a 30-minute thing, but we got into one of the songs and we're there for a solid like an hour afterwards, just playing the song over and over and over. It was really cool. Um, but you know, just surviving, you know, doing my thing. As far as like what I'm playing, really mostly I've been a nerd for Kenshi. I've been a glutton for self-punishment, really, I guess. Trying to just make my character the beefiest in the land so I can one punch a steel wall through the Phoenix. And I really hope that somebody out there gets that reference.
I've been seeing you play a bit of Kenshi. Every time I see it pop up on my Steam, I'm like, damn, I really got to start getting into that because I know that that's another one you want to cover with me on this.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah,
Absolutely love to.
it's on the
It's
list. I just haven't sat down to play it at all.
it's a lot of a game, so I don't know if it's coverable, but I'd love to give it a shot, you know what I mean? So
Well, I mean, anything's coverable. I mean, shit. If it's a lot of a game to play, I mean, I've been getting back into Stardew Valley myself lately, and you know how much of a problem that is for me.
I'm amazed that you're actually here right now, to be honest.
Well, I mean, hopefully anybody who listens with any kind of consistency can forgive me because as we're recording this, I'm 4 weeks behind with uploading an episode. But there are reasons for that,
He's gonna
as I
give you
will.
plenty of reasons. He's gonna give you all of the excuse in the world. It's all Stardew.
They will all have been covered in the intro to this episode. But because this is going to be episode 17, and I'm likely going to upload this tonight. I will have this edited and uploaded by tonight. But aside from that, let's just jump straight into the game, and I want to talk to you. I mean, as we always started off, we're going to start it off with kind of like how we found this game, how we first heard of it, how we started playing it, whatever. Have you heard of this game at all before I kind of like committed this to you?
Yeah, right. So a little bit, yeah. I had a friend of mine who was really, really big into Persona 3, I believe.
Okay.
I think he was super big into Persona 3, and then later on got into Persona 5. He didn't talk about it too terribly much, but when he did, he was like, "Oh, it's the best game in the world. It's so great." And I'm like, "All right, dude, that's awesome." And like me being me, I don't really like people recommend things to me, and I'll kind of not do anything with it. Which, you know, if anybody who hears this uh, knows me, sorry. That's that's just me. Don't hate me.
Keep recommending stuff, but just know that the one thing that gets through is really special.
It's really special. It's like people I text.
Yeah, right.
But but yeah, no, it's you know, he was really big into it. And then when you finally came along, yeah, that's when it was that's when I'm like, all right, let's do this and let's actually talk about it. And then oh my God.
What's it been
What
like
the
six
hell,
months since you
Rob?
beat the game?
It's been 6 months and I'm still what the fuck?
Well, here we are.
Here we go.
Here we are. I mean, to be honest with you, it's been about about 5 years since I beat this game. You played, to be clear, you played through Persona 5 Royal,
Yes.
which is the definitive way to play this game now.
Yeah. What does it add? An extra like 3 months or something to the game?
No, I don't know
Oh,
if it's months. It has a lot more content to make
yeah, like
the
30
months.
hours or.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, it's like 30% of the game I heard when it came out.
Mm,
Um,
that's what it was.
yeah, it was a lot more because there's whole new characters and side stories and development arcs and like that one character, the I can't remember her name, but the gymnast, she does not exist in the original release of the game.
I keep wanting to say on, but that's definitely not it.
No.
Yoshizawa. Yoshizawa. That's who it is.
Yeah, yeah. So she doesn't exist in the first iteration of the game, which is another reason probably why she only has 5 stars.
Yeah, instead of the full
Uh,
10.
yeah, but we'll get into that and explain all that means. Um, so I mean, I'll just quickly relate. Yeah, finish my sentence. Like, so you played Persona 5 Royal.
Mhm.
I played through the entirety of Persona 5, the original release,
Yes.
which originally came out, I believe, in 2016. And it took me a while to finally get through it because I remember seeing all the advertisements for it back in 2016, 2017, thinking it looked incredible. But at that time in my life, I wasn't really into gaming. I'd kind of like that was kind of like my bar hopping phase, more not really sitting at my consoles or whatever.
Mhm.
And then around 2018, I think I bought the game, sat down to try to play it. And for anybody who hasn't played this game, and for anybody who this may be your first entry into the Persona franchise,
Mm.
you may or may not remember or know that this game has like a 20-hour tutorial. And I had never played a game of this magnitude. My JRPG knowledge at this time in my life was like Pokemon. So I had not played something that was this in depth of a story, JRPG game. And so I had a really hard time kind of getting into it and understanding just what the hell was going on. And 20 hours into the game, or like 19 hours into the game, I put it down and I was like, I don't get it. There's other things I need to do with my time right now. And about a year later, I came back, and for some reason, I don't know what it was that possessed me to pick this game back up, but I decided to pick it up. And about 30 minutes into the playthrough that I had put down, it finally sunk its teeth into me, and I stuck it out for the next 120 hours. So this game had a massive impact on me and the way that I look at games. I hope it did you too, because
Oh, definitely.
that,
Oh my
this
gosh.
this game is an absolute masterclass in storytelling.
Oh, that's how how is that an understatement?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, man.
it's it's so good.
It's impeccable. My like it's I'm not a fan personally of like games where it's overly story driven, where there's a hell of a lot of cutscenes and there's a hell of a lot of dialogue and all that. So like even with this game, it was one of those where like trying to get through the dialogue was a pain in the ass. We're like trying to just focus on it, but like
But it's so good.
it's so fucking good. And like when they put in the action, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. You just don't drive this, driver, drive it.
So, I mean, I guess before we go too far into everything, because I want to just make this PSA right now. this is going to be a massive spoiler cast. There is absolutely no way that I can talk about this game, that either of us can talk about this game without spoiling anything, because as we're saying now, it is such a masterclass in storytelling. That being said, it is a massively story-driven game.
Hmm.
So we'll try to break down the game mechanics as well as possible before we start jumping into, story components and characters and story arcs and stuff like that. But just fair warning, 90% of this episode is going to be spoilers.
Hmm.
So I guess let's just jump into what this game is. If you want to try to take a crack at describing it, how would you kind of give this game, like if you had to try to sell this game to somebody, how would you describe it?
The end all be all of JRPGs.
Really?
That's at least my opinion. I mean, it's it's a movie that you play.
Yeah.
I think we kind of sum it up really well, where every single decision, every single choice, every single character that you interact with, the amount of interaction that you have with the characters, the skills that you increase, the skills that you don't increase, every single thing you do matters in the end.
Yeah.
And
Every dialogue option.
every single fucking one of them, Rob.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like my buddy really wants me to get into Baldur's Gate, and the way that he's describing it where there's 17,000 different endings to that one.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
yeah, it as soon as he said that, it just reminded me of Persona, which obviously that the amount of endings for this is not as um intense as that, but still it's like every single choice affects everything else. And
Yeah.
it's if you've ever played Baldur's Gate, I'm not going to compare the two because they are two completely different realms here, but it's maybe not horribly far off as far as comparing it to say like D&D, where it's like you can kind of do your own thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still you have the end goal, but you decide how you get there.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, no, it's I would say that it's kind of like a movie that you play.
Okay. No, I can absolutely agree with that, especially with how many, cutscenes there are that are like true cinematic anime cutscenes. It's
Hmm.
very it's a very impressive game visually and and especially musically, like the audio of the game.
Oh, my
Oh,
God,
buddy,
dude.
we're gonna have a whole chapter. We should have a whole separate episode for that.
Can we please, Dad, please?
I want to do like I might end up doing like a special second episode, follow-up episode to just break down the music of this or something. It's so
Right.
good.
It's
But
amazing, dude.
if I also had to try to describe the way that this or what this game is, I would say this is kind of like for anybody who hasn't played a Persona game, think of it like not safe for work Pokemon. Uh,
Yes, that is so good. That is so good.
because
Where you can date the other trainers.
yeah, exactly. It's this game is like it's like one half high school student life simulator,
Yes.
and then one half like his nightlife. He moonlights as a Pokemon trainer where
A BDSM Pokemon trainer.
BDSM Pokemon is exactly right. It is exactly right. If you take a couple seconds to Google search some of what the personas look like in this game, you'll know exactly what we mean.
Mhm.
And like some of them are straight up just like they need blurs on them on the imagery. But it's so funny. But
Real,
like,
qu-
what's
real
up?
quick, just to cut you off, like going along that, if for anybody who is about to actually Google this, as for if you want something less NSFW to understand what we're talking about with the Pokemon training, look up Morgana. Just look up Morgana, and you'll understand what we're saying.
But she's an NPC.
She is, but it's kind of like, okay, all right, this is what I'm getting into.
Yeah, and so yeah, also to throw into my description of the game, like there was a meme that was really popular a few years ago that said something along the lines of like JRPGs be like mission 1, rescue the cat. Final mission, kill God. That is literally this game. Um,
Yup.
we will get into the more, grittier details of that later, but that is literally this game. And so there is, along the lines of Pokemon again, it's got turn-based combat, a very, very, in my opinion, incredible fluid system of turn-based combat.
Oh yeah.
It's it no matter how much you do it in this game, and you will do it a lot, it does not get boring, in my opinion.
I think there are times where like you when you end up grinding, where yeah, it does
Yeah.
kind of get a little bit boring. Like when you're down in Mementos and you have to grind away before you get to certain ports where
Yeah.
we've had many gripes back and forth about that. But yeah, no, it can get a little bit boring. But it's not to the extent of other like JRPGs where it's just all right, blink, 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 and then you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's certainly like along the terms of grinding, it's certainly no Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Exactly.
Yeah, and actually, that's a perfect segue to get into my gripes, as well as probably yours, is the grinding. But would you care to kick us off with the gripes? Do you
I'm
have
gonna let
any?
I'm gonna let you start off. I'm gonna let you start off because it's been a while, so I have to kind of think through and de-romanticize the game in my head.
Okay, well, I really, off the top of my head, and this is one of the rare episodes where I actually I did not officially write any kind of shorthand notes, but just off the top of my head and knowing ahead of time, I have honestly nothing but love for this game.
Mm.
The three, if I can remember all three, the gripes that I have, the first one being the character who is your first friend that you make, whose name eludes me right now.
Ryuji.
Ryuji, thank you. So he is your kind of stereotypical idiot character who, is a great heart, great guy. You love him. He's always a good guy. But like, it's very easy to see how they used his character tropes to kind of reiterate the story and explain it to the player more and more. And it got to a point like 40 hours into the game where I'm like, come on, guys, I understood this in like the first time you said this to me 30 hours ago. I don't need to hear this entire recap again. It's like every time you bring on a new character or a new friend into the group, the whole fucking plot gets explained again. Towards the end of it, they start, just like skipping that entire bit. But like the first 3, 4 times, you're like, all right, come on, I've heard this. But you got to sit there and read through all of it again and again. You could skip it, but it's like sometimes they throw out a critical piece of information in there that you want to stick around for.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I guess I got to just read through this again and again and again. That's my first gripe. Have
And
any
I
hit your mind yet?
Yeah, I've
All
kind
right.
of along with that. Like you say Ryuji, I say Morgana. It's Morgana pissed me off in so many fucking parts because it would do that so many fucking times. It would
Yeah.
piss me off. And like the fact that like and I get why it's the game mechanics, so they're trying to make it natural, but it's like, it's evening. I want to go downstairs and try and work on like, I don't know, my kindness or something by cleaning up the shop. Well, I try to go downstairs and Morgana stops. Hey, shouldn't you go to bed? Shouldn't
Ah,
you shut up and go to sleep, you fucking talking cat?
yeah. Or it's like you show up to, the house or whatever, or the coffee shop, like after whatever, and it's just like, oh, it's this time of night. Why don't you give who's so and so a call, for this? And it's like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like we
fucking
are a
walking
hundred
notebook.
we are 100 hours into this game. If I did not understand what I could do at this point, I shouldn't even be playing.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh my God. For a game for a game that doesn't handhold, no, they do handhold you a lot, don't they?
They handhold you quite a bit in the beginning. I mean, later
Yeah.
on, they kind of expect you to have the combat down. So they, but also like combat gets I don't want to call it easy, but you can breeze through most fights
Oh
in the
yeah.
latter half of the game.
Oh yeah. Once you get your
Um,
team set up right, oh yeah.
oh yeah, and like when you know kind of like where you're at, what, you enter a palace for the first time, you kind of get a feeling for what elements you're going to be dealing with literally and
Hmm.
figuratively. And you'll kind of, build your team from there. But the combat is a huge like of mine, but at the same time I have one gripe about it.
Hmm.
And it's not that it's necessarily the combat's fault. It's sort of team building, sort of my lack of preparation, and this gripe is going to be somewhat of a spoiler, kinda. I'll try to word it in a way where it's not. About 2/3 of the way through the game, um, you're in this one palace, and you get all the way to the main end boss fight, and this boss fight, I guess I should back up for a second. The combat is very rock paper scissors based, but with elements very similar to Pokemon. Once again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you know, what is it? Fire beats grass, water
Yeah.
beats fire, sort of thing. So it's like you have to kind of see what your enemy's weakness is, and then you have to use whatever kind of personas you have in your bank or your Pokemon, whatever, to combat their weakness.
Your
So
BDSM Pokemon.
exactly. Um, so I reached the end of this palace and I got to the final boss fight, and I realized that I did not have enough personas to
Oh
fight
yeah.
this boss properly, and I did not have the correct elements in store at the right strength to fight this enemy.
You
So
needed the wind one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fighting the robot,
Yep. Oh
uh,
god, the exploding fucking robots.
the nutcrackers.
The Nutcrackers. It's so perfect because that's exactly what they look like too.
Yeah, so like, and this is on my second playthrough of the game. I was playing through Persona 5 Royal when I soft locked myself there because I did not have the right preparation. And in order for me to try to overcome that, what I had to do was actually go back a week or so. Like they give you that option to go back a few days, and I
Oh, do
had
they?
to, yeah, if you fail a fight enough or whatever, they give you the option to go back,
Huh.
so that you can kind of restructure and whatever. But I had to go to Mementos and just grind Mementos for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I still didn't get the right build. I leveled up like 10 times with all my characters and I still didn't get the right shit.
Jesus.
So like that for me, if this was my first playthrough of the game, that would have been a deal breaker right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and you don't know this going into it.
That was
So
an extremely hard palace. Like for
yeah.
compared to all of the other ones, that one had to be the most challenging. I can't what's Sokamoto? Akumura Foods. That's the palace.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's all of the other ones, it's just kind of like you can just breeze through it and it's perfectly fine. But that one, that requires the most amount of strategy that they don't tell you about at all. And that's the one
Exactly.
where
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the one where it's like, honestly, I would say it's a safe bet to really say the entire game really boils down to an entire tutorial. And
Yeah.
even like the bits that they don't tell you about, because that I keep wanting to call it a temple. That palace, there's there's just so much fucking to it, and it's
And
yeah,
it's one of the shorter ones, if I'm not mistaken. It's not a super long palace. Like
yeah,
between hers and Futaba's, those were not the longest palaces.
no.
Um, they were a little bit, more towards the end. You knew what you were doing. There was less hand holding in it. It was up to you at this point to know how to manage your time. You had a certain amount of time because this game is also calendar based. I didn't throw that out there, but
Yes.
that's one of like the main components of the game.
Yeah, now when Rob's saying calendar based, essentially what he means is with the how to explain this properly. Okay, so with the game, essentially you find targets, right? Your team finds targets to uh take down their shadows, to change their heart, essentially. Now these guys are massive multinational organization CEOs, for instance. Um, high level detectives in the police.
They're the kind of people who like if this game is being like a commentary on the human condition,
Mhm.
these are the kinds of people that you would expect to hold the most evil in the world.
Ex-
Politicians, businessmen, corporate
yes.
CEOs, stuff like that.
the epitome of power, ultimate complete power corrupts completely, I think is how the saying goes. It's along those lines, and that's exactly what you see in this game. Um,
When I say
was
calendar based too, I mean like that you have 1 year essentially in the game, and every day, like you get to experience every single day with these characters, and each like every action that you do within the game, whether it be hanging out with a friend, going to see a movie, playing a game, reading a book, going to class, whatever, you're not losing it like by the minute like you would in Stardew Valley. You're losing it by
a
the
quarter of the day.
the quarter of the day. Yeah, so like your calendar goes from morning to afternoon to evening to night,
Hmm.
and there are ways within the game later on that you can unlock. Um, that I'll keep this between us, like for anybody who wants to experience it. But there's different things you can unlock
Hmm.
uh, through interactions with characters that allow you to buy you more time.
Hmm.
And as every day passes, a lot of these characters, these CEOs and politicians and whatever the bad guys, you have a time limit to take them down within their palace and change their heart before they do their evil deeds.
Exactly, exactly. You have generally speaking, it's something along a lot of the palaces. You have like a month or something before
Yeah,
they go public with some information, or something happens where it's irreversible, and no matter what you do, you've basically just failed the game.
yeah,
So you have an allotted amount of time, and that's set up on your screen to where you have this amount of time. If you don't get it done, then game's over.
yeah. And it seems very anxiety inducing in the beginning. It's really not that bad because
Not at
like
all.
you can beat most palaces if you like when you know what you're doing. You can beat most palaces within 3 to 4 visits, and
Hmm.
that's 3 to 4 days. So it's
Yeah,
not that
I
bad.
know most of them. I was kind of the anxiety kind of got to me. So a lot of them I was just kind of like, oh, and I just did them all as fast as possible to just get them done. So
Yeah,
yeah, the 3 to 4 days thing. I can confirm on that.
yeah. Like I think when I first played through this game, I played through it like I didn't realize like how much my characters could keep going on, and I would play it and play it and play it until I felt like I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of running out of healing items, but I kind of want to play it safe, and stuff like that. And I would leave only to like come back the next day, go into the palace, and then I would walk down the hallway and hit a checkpoint where they'd be like, well, we're done for today. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yup. Oh, yup.
Because they
That's
force you out of there and then you lose a day.
hmm and that's where it's kind of like you and after like the first or second time that happens, you're like, all right, I see
Yeah.
what's happening here. And
Yeah.
you kind of realize, all right, let me go through, find it's there's like two things you need to find. One is where the sacred treasure is,
Yeah.
and then the other is like how to turn off the security system or something like that. Oh no, and then you have to find them to send
There's
the calling card.
yeah.
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 I-
So there are a few with each palace there is a minimum of 1 or 2 times where they force you out.
mhm.
With most palaces there's 1 or 2 times within that as well that they kind of force you out. And if you can kind of build your team strongly enough to make it to each of those points each visit, you're solid.
Mhm.
Like then you can just bang this out, and then you can use all your free time outside of that to build your relationships, build your skills, build your character. Um, so that's just kind of like making the most use of your time.
Yeah.
But I can't remember my third gripe. Between Ryuji and the that one soft lock I gave to myself, I can't really remember my third one. Do you have any more?
I've got the only one that I really have is ultimately how it's a 30-hour goddamn tutorial.
I think that was mine as well.
Yeah, probably. So on behalf of Rob, but it's just I understand it. I do. There's so much material and so many things, so many moving parts where you can't just keep it all in there. So I get why it's like they walk you through everything.
Yeah. A
but
lot to figure out.
but at least 5 different times through this 30-hour fucking tutorial, I at least have had to I have at least 5 times I have had to say, just let me play the fucking game.
Yeah.
Just
Or,
stop and let me play.
God damn it, Ryuji and Morgana, I know.
Exactly, man. Wait, what do you mean you can press X to continue on?
What do you
Fuck are
mean I
telling
can
me
press
this for?
What do you mean I can press right one to or R1 to change to the next character to make a special attack? I know. Oh,
Oh my god. But yeah, no, that's the only thing that I can really remember as far as a gripe for the game.
yeah.
Um and I guess you know what, one other one, it's not really so much of a gripe, just more that I didn't look into it as much as the fusion system. I love the fusion system, don't get me wrong. It
Mhm.
was just it's confusing because there's so much to it. And
It's
that's
kind of weird, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And there's just I never fully understood like until towards the end once I had done it enough times what outcome I would be expecting, how to get them more powerful, what to do, this and that. And like
Yeah.
every time I sacrificed one of the personas, I'd be sitting there like, did I actually just fuck up? Should I have actually kept him? What am
Oh
am
yeah.
I, you know?
It's kind of fucking annoying too that like the twins, Caroline and Justine, like
Mhm.
when you when you go to create a persona and you see one that's like, say you're level 37 or whatever, and you see one that's like level 54, and you're like, yeah, that would help me. And then they're like, you're not ready for that kind of power. And you're like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, right? Oh my God. Oh my
Like, I can
God.
see that that would help me, but
Oh,
now you're making me suffer.
exactly, right? You're just it's the whole you know what? I'm gonna append my uh overview of the game of like describing the game. I'm just gonna append it.
I feel
I'm
like
just
all we're doing right now is shitting on it when I have nothing but love for this game.
exactly right. No, me too. It's an amazing game. It's just these tiny things, and this is the section where it's like it feels like that.
I know. This is gonna be a long episode. We're already a
It
half
is.
hour into this, but
Oh my God, dude.
um,
I don't think we're anywhere close to being done.
oh
But
hell no.
appending my overview of it being a movie you play, it's a porn you play. Let's just
What?
it's, I mean, no, all right, not to that extent, but it's the amount of fucking BDSM in this game, the amount of fucking like of suggestive shit. Like, what the fuck, Japan?
Dude, do you remember that one enemy in the beginning, like in the first palace, in the gym teacher's palace, when it was like the biggest like side boss, and it was literally just like a giant melting goopy dickhead.
It's so
It's
fucking gross, dude.
it's literally all it was.
Oh my God, it
And
was
then it would
so.
like spit on you, dude. Like what the
Oh,
fuck?
oh God, so fucking bad. Ugh.
And then there's a persona. I think it's also like any enemy that you face in this game, minus that one.
Mhm.
Pretty much any enemy that you face in this game is a persona that you can, in one way or another, get on your team.
Mhm.
So there's another one that is, I don't know if you found this one, but a chariot.
Cherry.
It's
I
it's like
believe
it's
I
like a
did.
chariot, except the horse is a giant cock. And I'm
I'm
like,
looking this up now.
it's unreal, dude. I mean, aside, and then you got like the one angel who's just like straight up BDSM, like hung
Oh
from
my God, yeah.
whatever. Like it's wild.
Ah,
But
it's it. I.
you gotta search that safe mode on, dude.
y-
And anybody who's listening to this, if you're listening to this at work, I highly recommend you Google this when you get home.
Yeah, this is a hell of an episode to be listening to at work, and I am so sorry for your current job situation if
Oh
you
my
are listening to this.
Hey, you had fair warning in the beginning.
True
But
A
let's
middle spoiler here. This is an NSFW game. This is an NSFW podcast.
oh yeah. So, not for the faint of heart or anybody under the age of what, I don't know, 18, 16, whatever. So anyway, let's move on. Let's get into what we like about this game because we've shit on this game enough, and this game is damn near masterpiece. So
Rob, you got me with that. Jesus.
what, the persona?
the fucking person, just that whole segue. Anyone under the age of 18, just the spoilers. God damn it. Okay, on to what we like about the game before I die.
What we actually like about this game. Now, have you seen the Chariot Persona? I'm kidding.
Now, kids, how do you feel about? No, I'm just kidding.
Is that what Santa wrote in on? Uh,
Can you imagine if there's an actual fucking enemy that's a fucking Santa riding that thing? Oh god.
I will bet you money that there's fan fiction about that persona.
Oh Jesus. I am
100%.
sure.
I mean, dude, there's an anime already about this game. There's manga. Like it's out there. It's got to be out there. And that's officially published shit.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, right. And the fandom's just fucking insane. So yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can imagine.
Anyway.
Anywho,
Before we get canceled. So
yes.
So what do you like about this game?
The chariot. No.
Oh God.
There's everything except for the grapes. Everything.
There's even parts of the gripes where I'm like,
Exactly, and it's
like the gripes is like the reiteration of the story. It's like, okay, I get it. It's annoying if you're the kind of person like you or I am, where we sat down and played this game for hours on end.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the kind of person where you put an hour or two into this game, like any normal adult, you might forget what it is. You might forget details. You might forget whatever. So the constant reiteration of the game throughout the game helps.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at like Joker. I mean, so okay, so just a second. Let me stop here.
Okay.
So Ryuji is Joker.
No.
Ryuji's Joker.
You're Joker.
Oh shit, you're right. No, who is he?
I forget.
Oh, fuck.
Skull.
That's it. Skull. My bad. Yes, your character's okay. So, the nightlife aspect of this, your character, you have your day name, right? There's Ryuji is his given name that he uses daily. Skull is his persona name when he transforms and he goes into palaces, and that's what all of the different NPCs that are on your team have that kind of thing. Joker is your persona.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of these have different kind of code names essentially.
Yeah.
So that just to preface that going forward. Joker, right? Even within that, right? He's got so many redeeming parts to him where it's like if you go through and you max him up to a level 10 friendship, like there's so many great things about like just the cutscenes that you have with him where it's like you guys become super best friends and like there's just so many. The amount of I'm not even ashamed to admit this. I am a very emotional person, very an emotional man.
It's all right.
So like the amount of times that I have shed tears over this fucking game.
Dude, same.
Holy hell, dude. I have had to take times and just stop and pause the game after a cutscene and just like, what would they do that?
Dude, I remember like when you were playing through this game, and sorry to cut you off, but I remember when you were playing through this game and I would get a text from you out of the blue just like, this did not just fucking happen.
Yes. Oh my God. So many times. Oh my God. And like the further you into the backstory that you go with the characters and the further in you get with their relationship, the more they open up to you and the more like you understand the good and the bad and the tragic and the great that they have. Yeah. There's so many. The characters go from 2D to 3D so well, and it's you can choose how three-dimensional these characters actually are. They could be just basic NPC side characters, or they could be just an entire world in and of themselves. It's amazing what these developers have done. Like just the amount of time.
And so many different, like every different major character that you can interact with has a story arc that kind of deals with different common social issues or different, mental health issues or, abuse issues or whatever. Like Tai Takemi, the doctor or the
oh my gosh.
Clinic, if you actually go through with her entire story arc, it is heartbreakingly beautiful.
Tragic. It's
Yeah.
yes. And what do they call? They call her like the angel of death or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh, eh,
And she got so screwed by the medical industry because of somebody's greed and like it's
yes.
holy shit, dude.
And it's like you get to a point where it's like I think that's actually like a side. Oh no, you find them in mementos.
Yeah.
And I want to get into mementos really quick, but or like
Oh,
really
we will.
badly. But
Yeah.
that's um. But you know it's Sai, right? That's no. What's her name? The
Tai
doctor?
Takemi?
Yeah, Tai
Tai?
Takeda.
Yeah.
She's she is an amazing character.
Yeah.
Her entire goal is just to help people, and
Yeah.
like you go through and you play her, you hear about her backstory as you interact with her and you get closer to her. Oh my God. You want to reach into the game and strangle the freaking president of that hospital. Like you just
Yeah.
it's disgusting what happens to her. All in the game, all because she was trying to help somebody. Oh my God.
Yeah. And like any character, like even her, like when you first meet her, at face value, if you listen to what other people say about her and stuff, and you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to deal with this person, like you're gonna miss out on so much amazing storytelling. And
That's
same thing
just
with
it.
like the politician, like he's such an amazing character. And same thing with Kawakami, like
Hmm.
like you said, none of these characters are two dimensional. If you
Yeah.
take the time to get to know them and spend time with them and know their story arcs, like it's amazing. Like Tai Takemi, when you meet her at first, like you look at her and you're just like, oh, okay, she's just some, like kind of like meme culture would call her like big titty goth mommy, like with cold chip on her shoulder, but at the same
Yeah.
time, and so you're kind of just like, okay, like you can kind of write her off as just a shop to buy medical supplies, but it's like,
Mhm.
no, she's actually like a super in-depth, incredible character that you should get to know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's just it. They're all of them have that aspect to it. It's an amazing thing. And that actually brings me to one of my other the one of the biggest things that I like about this game
Hmm.
is it's very much an expose on social norms.
Yeah,
Um the idea of going with the flow and just not questioning things around you and just not stepping out of line of what people are expecting of you and society is expecting of you and just you here's your goal, do it because that's what everyone else is doing. Don't do your own thing because you'll be a freak and you'll be labeled a weirdo and everybody will hate you. And it's there's so many parts in this game where it shows that, and it's this how society hates them
yeah.
when in reality they're amazing motherfucking people. And I'm getting really passionate about this because I one of my biggest sayings is the weirdest people are always the best.
Oh yeah.
To an extent, of course, there are
That's
some
yeah.
really fucked up people out there,
Yes.
but there's a lot of people that I've met where they're social outcasts, but they've become like my best friends because they're the people who will be there with you through thick and thin. They will fight by your side until they can't anymore and
Yeah.
then keep fighting. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, and like everybody in this game, I mean, to just continue on what you're saying, like everybody in this game is in one way or another an outsider, and even they break down that social construct right in the beginning because they throw Takamaki right at you in
yeah.
the very
Oh,
beginning of the game, and
oh,
at first you're looking at her and you're like, oh, she's probably just like the popular girl who like whatever, like you think of
yeah,
her as like you think that she would be like someone you don't want to deal with.
yeah. This is
She ends
just
up
like
being your favorite fucking character.
she's the only person that actually became my love interest in this game.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the way that what fucking happened to her, I swear to Christ, dude. I
It's disgusting. And
hmm.
I, dude, like this game, so like what happened to her, I'm gonna keep secret. I don't want to get too far into that because I don't want to get in trouble, God
Yeah,
forbid. But
yeah.
also because it's pretty tragic. But
It's
then
very
yeah, but also like this game, every palace. I don't know if you picked up on this, but every palace is a commentary on one of the major sins. So, and I'm not a hugely
Okay.
religious person, as you know, but like if you look at the first one, that's lust. If you look at
Hmm.
some of the other ones, you got the second one is greed, then you have gluttony, then you have all these different, you know, all these different palaces that
Excuse me.
face different evils and stuff like that. And there's a lot of different ways to interpret what these are, but there's a lot of social commentary, there's a lot of commentary on the human condition. There's just a lot of ways that this game is very intelligently written and plays
Hmm.
out. But that's one of the big things is that like every character, like you're saying, every character in this game is suffering from you don't know their battle.
No,
How
no,
can how can you
exactly,
judge them? You don't know
exactly.
their battle.
That's the whole thing. You don't know what someone's going through, so be kind, right? That's like that's a huge thing for me is right. Try to be kind because you don't know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
And it's this game envelops that completely. You know what I mean? Like it's oh my god. And like you hear all of these things and you can get swept up in the rumors and you can get swept up in all this and you could just kind of like, okay, all right, I'm not going to deal with them. You know what I mean? Like Ryuji being like everybody just says that he's a bully and that he's just an outcast and a freak and whatever and it's just, don't deal with him. Um it, but like he becomes one of your main people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Like aside from what everybody says about him, he is the most loyal friend.
yeah, through thick and fucking thin, dude. Literally. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my
But I
God.
mean, so it's just yeah, dude, I could go off and just love the writing and character developments of this game forever.
Yeah. Oh,
But
dude. Why don't we?
well, I would also just like to say, I mean, the whole time that you were playing through this game and enjoying and having your heart broken and mended by these character arcs, you're also doing it. So one of the most incredible video game soundtracks I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Yes, it's so true. You're over here emotionally just drained from this entire game because it's just fucking killing you. And like in the background you've got this jazzy upbeat like
Who am I?
yeah. Oh, yeah, let's get this. Let's kill this chariot thing.
Dude, this soundtrack is so solid that like
Ugh.
multiple times throughout the year, like I would just put this on my TV, like at my girl's place, and just as like background music.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I would you can go on YouTube and look up um like Persona 5 lo-fi, and it'll just be like the cafe with just like the jazzy music that they got on here. It's so good.
It's and they what's great is it's very jazzy. It has a very jazzy feel, like all of the music, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, but they take it from the entire spectrum. You've got like the high energy to keep you going in a battle, to like the kind of creepier, um, more dissonant jazz of Mementos to
Yeah.
like this chill, relaxing atmosphere of the cafe where it's like you've just got it. It keeps the same genre, but it moves so elegantly throughout
Yeah.
the entire thing, where it's like it feels almost like you're listening to the same song, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's like when you're standing in the school and it's like it's one song, one tempo, and you kind of, I don't know, it for me it brought me back to that nostalgic feeling of like, okay, the bell just rung, the school day's over, the whole day,
Yes.
the world is at my fingertips, I can do whatever I want. Then it's like you go into Mementos and
Doom,
it's
doom, doom.
this off key like off tempo weird music that just makes you feel unsettled.
Yes, it adds this anxious tension to
Yeah.
the entire feel of it, and it's like it's around every corner. You don't know what you're going to expect, especially when it's like complete darkness. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, like it makes you uncomfortable. And then
Hmm.
like when that's all done, said and done, and then it's like you step back into the cafe, the way that music hits you, it just instantly relaxes you. You're like you want to just put your controller down and drink a cup of coffee and relax. It's
Hmm.
it's just the
Yeah,
music in here is just phenomenal.
seriously, dude. It's so good. It is so fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, I. There's so much to this game. Um,
There's, oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know what to jump into next. I mean, I think it's really incredible the way that they break down the or the way that they like describe to you how things work. The fact that like the world that you go into, and it is a different world. It's like a different dimension that you're stepping into every time you go to either Mementos or one of these palaces.
Mhm.
And like one of the things that I love is the fact that they were like, oh, you know, weapons don't work here, but like they just have to think that they do. So like your
Mhm.
arsenal of weapons is like a bunch of fucking airsoft guns. I
Yes.
thought that was the coolest thing
Yeah, man. It's fantastic.
because
Like
everything.
it's.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, no. You go. You go.
Hang on. Shoot. Sorry about that. I was trying to mute my mic and it didn't work. I apologize for coughing into it. Um. Yeah, no, the fact that it's like, and you go into this back alley freaking airsoft store and pick up guns, it's like everything about it just seems black market. When I mean, from what I can understand, he's literally just selling airsoft.
Well,
Am I wrong?
well.
Okay, I guess I'm wrong.
I mean, well. Let's just say that he's another character that you can really get to know.
Yeah, yeah, he's that dude's dealing with some pretty heavy shit from what it sounds like.
Yeah, he may or may not be somebody who's arming the Yakuza, but let's not get into that now. So,
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to go through and play again and actually like get more into his storyline because that's
yeah, I don't remember it exactly, but he's not as innocent as it seems. Uh,
got it.
yeah, but
This is
yeah,
this is a front, is what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, kind of.
Okay. but
um,
but yeah, no, there's like the amount of things that you can go into, like, and you know what? This is kind of a gripe that I have with all JRPGs. Is the is the weapon system where like you go in, you complete a few missions, you come back out, and you go to upgrade your weapons. Okay, I just go down to the bottom of the list. This is the most powerful gun. Let's buy it.
yeah,
Which I can understand that, right? It just kind of makes things simple and fast for and just keeps things moving. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, right, this could have been done better. You know what I mean? Like you have to find parts to make a better gun. You could have to like compare two that look really good side by side, but which one's going to be better for this specific scenario? You know what I mean?
are you talking about in Persona?
Yeah, in Persona, right? It's just kind of like as far as like ideas of like how they could have made that at least that section better, and just in general in
Yeah,
JRPGs.
I
You know?
feel like that would be a great concept. My only argument to that would be like, given that time is already such a an obstacle, would that take you away? Like, would
Yeah,
that kind of?
take too
I
much
don't.
time.
I don't see it adding more time to the actual calendar system, but I see it as maybe putting the player in a menu system for too long.
Yeah,
Because a lot of the way that this game is balanced is it's very quick. A lot of it is very like nothing takes too long except for the fucking tutorial. So like I don't know, they throw a lot at you really quickly. They don't want you spending too much time in menus. It seems like minus the fucking character creation. But I mean I think that that would be a cool concept, don't get me wrong. I would like to see that somehow implemented well. That would be cool.
yeah,
Like if
yeah.
you could, because I thought there was a way that you could like put a scope on your gun or something like that to like make it better. What is there not? I forget.
I can't. I think there's ways where you can like upgrade certain skills, and then that like in yeah, like you upgrade certain personas, like and it increases like damage you do with guns or something like that.
No.
I don't know if there's necessarily like attachments that you can do with the guns. I think it's just kind of like you have your accessories, you have your armor, and then you have your guns or something like that. But I
Yeah.
could very well be wrong. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. But
Yeah.
I really like that none of the like there's nothing in this game that's there for no reason.
Hmm. Yeah.
Everything in one way or another is described or like there's even by the end of this game at the by the very ending of this game if you find your way to the true ending which we're going to get into Um,
Oh
there's
God,
no
those
there's
endings.
no loose ends.
No, no. If you do it right, everything's wrapped up perfectly.
Yeah, but that's the hard part is doing it right.
Exactly. Yeah. If you do it right, everything is wrapped up properly, even your love interests.
Dude, the Valentine's Day scene, I was fucking crying.
Oh my God, dude.
Because like it's so unfair but hilarious to the player that like this game allows you to have multiple like love interests, and you
Mhm.
can go through the entire game. Like say if you because Takamaki is the first female that you are able to romance and really start to build a relationship with. However, the game gives you the option to romance like every female character that you meet.
Yes.
And at the like towards the end of the game, there's Valentine's Day, and that day, like I'm just gonna spoil this. Like the funniest thing happens. Like if you have more than one love interest, then they all kind of like gang up on you
Yep.
and confront you about it. And then obviously, they all get mad at you, which makes sense. And then they just like kick the shit out of you. It's so funny. But at the same time, it's like you from a strategic standpoint, and I'm not one to ever defend those kinds of actions, but from a strategic standpoint in a video game, it's like you want to try to get the best relationship possible with all these characters because they all have benefits.
Yes.
But it's like at the same time, you're doing something that's real scumbag.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. To say the least.
you get a pretty
But I mean,
funny outcome.
yeah, exactly. I mean, now there's points like you can still get to back up a second, right? You can still get your relationships to level 10 without making it a love interest with the female characters.
That's
Like,
true. Yes.
like my character's love interest was on, right? That's
Okay.
just straight through. But I got to the point with the doctor where she was, I got the option to make her also a love interest. And I kind of, I turned her down because I'm not, trying to do that.
Yeah.
Um, but like it was, it was there, and I still got her to level 10, and got through all of her backstory and everything, and still just kind of kept her as friends. And I think the same, I think the same thing happened with the reporter too.
See, I never actually got the reporter up all that much. What were the perks of having her as a
Oh,
confidant,
bud,
like leveled up?
I
You
I
remember?
don't remember.
The
I
ones that I
really
remember
don't.
the most, the ones that I honestly remember the most are the ones that were my biggest recommendations to you when you were going through this game, and that's
Yeah.
Kawakami to get you more time
Hmm.
when you get back from the Mentos or whatever. And I'm not going to say why. That'll be up
Hmm.
to any listeners who want to play this game to figure out, because that
We've
is
given you enough spoilers.
that is an incredible story arc.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's whew.
her and the politician, because the politician gets you fucking rich.
Sorry about that. Can you
You're
can
right.
you say that one more time? I was coughing like crazy
Oh, you're good.
about
Yeah,
the politician.
Kawakami and the politician are the two biggest uh, confidants I recommend to anybody upgrade, because the politician gets you filthy rich, and he also has an incredible story arc. But uh, so one of the options in combat is if you get rid of all enemies and then knock the last one down onto his knees, which is really easy to do.
Mm.
Um, then you get the option to either do an all-out attack or like hold them up for money or items or whatever. And if you do that, if you do a hold up for money, after you have the more that you upgrade the politician's confidant level, the more money you get,
Oh,
to a point where you're getting like thousands every time you ask for money.
damn, dude.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
it's usually chump change, right?
usually, yeah, in the beginning. But once you get him, especially up to like level 10, you're getting like 4,000, 5,000 per, and then you can do it multiple times. Like, oh, dude,
Nice.
money
Nice.
becomes not an issue.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed is that like a certain point towards the end of the game, like especially if you travel through Mementos without doing like the politician, money really isn't an issue. Like
No.
there was, I think by the time I finished, I was at like 300,000 yen. Like
Oh yeah.
there was just so much. But yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from. Like I would imagine you can bank a lot of fucking coin with that.
Yeah.
But
But if you don't mind me jumping to another like that I have,
by all means, go for it.
fucking pancakes.
Fucking God. Pancakes. Fucking
Dude.
pancakes, Rob. Pancakes. What
That
the fuck are
drove you
pancakes?
insane.
Dude, holy shit. Pancakes? What the fuck is okay, to give
If you
you
know,
some
you know.
some goddamn backstory. I'm sitting here, it's like what, maybe my third actual real life day playing the game, and I'm talking with Rob, and oh, did you get to pancakes yet? I'm like, pancakes? What do you mean by pancakes? What does that mean? I don't understand. And I'm just like, it's like a splinter in my fucking mind as I'm trying to like go through and figure out what he means by pancakes. And by the time I found out where pancakes was, it was so fucking subtle and it was so fucking good that I missed it until they explained it in the goddamn game. I was pissed. Oh my God.
If you know, you know. But if you don't know, one of the biggest plot twists in the entire game
Is pancakes.
is pancakes. But it is such an incredible, mind-blowing twist that like you're not going to get it until like unless you really know and you really pay attention, it's going to go completely over your head until you're like 100 hours into the game.
Until the game actually explains it to you, you don't fully grasp it.
Fucking pancakes.
Fucking goddamn pancakes, that bastard son of a bitch.
I was having so much fun watching you try to figure that one out.
Is this pancakes? What happens? Dude, the amount of times that I texted Rob and being like, wait, is this what's going on? Is this all a simulation? Is this just the fucking Matrix? Do we even exist?
I didn't say a word.
He didn't. My God, this man is like a fucking vault. Holy shit. It pissed me off at every fucking turn. Thank you for not spoiling anything.
You're welcome.
Oh God. I don't think I have any more likes. I think I'm liked out at this point. Either that or pancakes just drew me up a fucking wall.
I mean, I think for the most part, I'm pretty wrapped up too. I've talked about most of what I want to talk about. I mean, my only thing that I'll say before we give this game a rating and call it a day is, if you, there is a point in the game towards the end when everything's starting to, you're at the climax of the game, everything's starting to get, come to a head. There are multiple opportunities to end the game.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not the true ending.
Yes.
There is a way to work your way through these dialogue options to get to the true ending, which is another 20 hours of gameplay, mind you. I highly recommend that when you finally get to the main interrogation scene, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
You Google your way through it, because I really don't want anybody to miss out on the true ending of this game. It is fantastic.
Yes. It's very, it could be that moment there could be a make or break for you if you don't like it.
Yeah. If you get the wrong ending and you think that that's all it is, you're going to hate this fucking game.
Mm-hmm. I love that they left it in, but I hate that they left it in because it's such a tipping point. It is such a tipping point for this game.
I wish that they had done something when you get the wrong ending to kind of put up on the screen like, are you really sure this is how you want it to end?
Yeah.
It's something.
And dude, okay, all right, I guess we're not done. But the way that they go through that and they make you think that it's the wrong ending, and it's just, my jaw hit the fucking floor, Rob. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Dude, I couldn't imagine like if I played through 100 hours of this game or 120 hours of this game, because for me, my first playthrough of this game was 168 hours. But if I played through, the majority of this game, got to that point, got a wrong ending, and then went to look up, a video about this game a year later or whatever, or happened to see something, and I'm like, wait, I didn't see that in the game, and then realized that I missed out on like the last quarter of the game, I'd have been pissed.
Mm-hmm. And I think if I remember right, they make you save just before you get to the interrogation room. So I
I think
think that
so.
yeah. So I think that might be kind of like your saving grace. Yeah, no, because there's a specific point where it's like you're not going to be allowed to save after this. You're going to save now.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
and I
know?
highly recommend. Like, I think in that point, I created like 3 saves because I
Hmm.
wanted to have multiple in case I wanted to experience multiple different endings.
Yeah.
But if you don't, if you're not able to read the room and you don't know that that's kind of coming, then you're kind of like you're screwed. You don't know.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely. When you get to that point, Google it,
Oh
look it
yeah.
up. Don't spoil it, but there are articles out there that walk you through it without telling you what happens. So yeah, but that being said, enjoy the game.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Now, before we start going into, um, whenever I'm on a podcast, I close it out with "I appreciate you,"
Hmm.
and this game is one of the reasons why. I'm not going to go into like a super detailed thing, but I've had a lot of moments in my life and a lot of moments in my friend's life where this kind of resonated with me, as far as kind of the dark times. And if anybody who's listening, I just want you to understand, right? Even though I don't know you, when I say I appreciate you, I do genuinely mean that. I do appreciate you as a person. May not know you, but I'm sure if we sat down and talked, we'd probably find some common ground and we'd probably become friends or at least, have some good times. And the reason I'm saying all this is you fucking matter, all right? Whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, whatever you may be going through in the future, don't give up, okay? This game is very heavy and it deals with a lot of heavy things and a lot of reality. So if it resonates with you on that, right, just don't give up. You are valuable and you matter, all right? That's sorry to make this super heavy, but
It's all right. No,
yeah.
I appreciate you throwing that out there. And honestly, yeah, this game does deal with a lot of very heavy and dark subject matter, and very similarly to like what I said in the Doki Doki Literature Club episode. If you or someone you know is having issues with anything that this game may cover, these are very serious issues, and I highly recommend that you reach out and get some, reach out to a professional, reach out to a friend, family, anybody.
Hmm.
There are
Hmm.
there are people out there who care about you, ways to get help. So reach out and like he said, you are appreciated.
You are.
So no, there's nothing wrong with saying any of that. So
Cool.
with that being said, though, um, appreciate you too, buddy.
I appreciate you, Rob, very much.
Um, so how about we slap a rating on this thing?
Let's slap an emotional rating on this thing.
I had an idea for what we could put a rating on this thing for. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
If you had something else in mind, let me know. But excuse me. Persona 5 Royal has a total of 192 personas that can be fused.
Okay.
So what do you think about rating this game out of 192? You there, bud?
I'm here. How about instead of that? Oh no, that's 10, so it's kind of basic. I was thinking out of ten playable characters, since each one of them is so.
Are there 10?
Yeah, there's you, there's Ryuji on Morgana. Well, I mean, they're not, Morgana, Yusuke, Makoto, Futaba, Haru. Oh, wait, no, he's not a playable character. Screw him. He's an asshole.
Yeah, well, so neither is Futaba, because she's technically like the overseer. Like she doesn't, you don't play as her at all.
Yeah. All right. So then okay, so out of 8 playable characters.
Okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying like each one of them is just integral to the story, and each one of them, like I said, are 3-dimensional characters, and they're very meaningful to the actual game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All
So,
right. So out of 8,
um, out of 8 playable characters, I'd have to give this game a solid 10 playable characters.
10.
I'm breaking the system for this one.
Wow.
I
Okay.
This is a like you said, it's a masterclass in gaming. This is a masterpiece of a fucking game. There's
Yeah,
the gripes, there's the things, there's the boring parts, whatever. But for every single one of those, there's 10 things that redeem it.
yeah,
There's just an insane amount of content that even with Royal that didn't really need to be there, but they still threw it in and made it this immersive world of what the fuck BDSM.
yeah,
Um, it's just it's insanity. It really is, and it's amazing. It's amazing. There's no other word to describe it. It's amazing.
yeah.
So that is my broken rating on this game.
Oh, hey, that's. I gotta be honest with you, and when we spoke way back when you and I actually were recording the first few episodes of this in my bedroom where I used to live, uh,
Yep.
I had mentioned to you while you were playing this game that there are very, very, very few games that I may say or may rate as perfect.
Mm.
Um, this game, I'm gonna give it that.
Wow.
I'm actually this is gonna be the first one I actually give a full 100% 8 out of 8 because even though there are ways to soft lock yourself like I did, that was kind of my fault because I did not build a balanced enough character or roster, I should say. Um, like and any way that you can screw yourself in this game, the developers knew that you could, and they implemented ways to get yourself out of that situation. Like if you get into a boss fight, like I said earlier, where you are just completely unable to beat that boss, they give you the option to go back in time a week and retry, rebuild, restructure completely from the ground up, redo it. And I think that that's fantastic because there's a lot of games out there that would just insta death you and make you start the whole fucking game over again, and that's shitty.
Yeah.
So this game really thought ahead, and even though I had a gripe of, oh yeah, there's constant, you know, relaying of the story, retelling, constantly reminding you, that's good because, like I said, a lot of the people that are of the age group to play this game and appreciate it for what it is, they're not the kind of people who can sit down and play games for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna, they might put it down for a week or two and then come back or more and then come back and not know what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's again the developers thinking ahead saying, "Hey, maybe, this 18 and over audience isn't going to remember exactly where they left off. Let's remind them."
Exactly. And that's just it. Is that my biggest thing is passion. My biggest thing is passion. If you're passionate about your games, if you're passionate about your music, if you're passionate about whatever you're creating, if you're creating something, if there's passion behind it, I will get behind that completely. And that's what this game is a passion project that they put together. It's a mainstream, it's a triple A passion project, and it puts all the other ones to shame. So
Yeah.
fuck you,
This
triple A titles.
this one game was my first game ever made by Atlas, the developers, and I now to this day I follow like everything they do. I may not play every single game, but I look into them and I bought the Persona 3 Reload. I'm working my way through that. I got Shin Megami Tensei 5, the next one on pre-order. Like I follow the studio now because of this game. It is so damn good.
Nice.
So I absolutely 100% give this game my stamp of approval. Go play it
hmm
if you're
I
over 18.
If you're over 18, if you were under 18, don't do that to yourself.
YouTube it
Don't
with
do it.
blur mode on.
Exactly. Dear God, it's oh my goodness. It's just YouTube kids this shit. I mean, holy Jesus. Oh
And
my God.
and again, if you or anybody you know is dealing with any issues related to anything that they cover in this game, please don't hesitate to reach out to a professional.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that
Please
being
do.
said, I'm done.
I believe I am too. I think I'm gonna go play this game again and probably cry another quart of tears.
All
But
right, buddy. Well, it has been absolutely fantastic talking to you again. We got to hang out real soon.
we really do. We got to figure something out now that you're what, like 3 hours away from me, you jerk. Jeez.
Sorry, bud.
I'm just messing.
Love you.
Love you too, brother. Love you
All
too.
right, buddy.
All right. Hey, and like I said before, for anybody who hasn't heard this today, I appreciate you.
Stay hydrated.
All
Later.
right. Bye.